And you often talk about the sort of twin existential threats to humanity. One is climate change, and it strikes me that like there is sort of a mobilization around climate change, and things like the Sunrise Movement have been very effective, and the advocacy for the Green New Deal and things like that. But the other one, the threat of nuclear war, which used to be a very big issue and discussed a lot, like is just completely absent from the discussion, at least in the day-to-day discourse. And it strikes me that like in the last few years, liberals have really been pushing such a strong a strong sort of like line against like Russia and threaten any sort of cooperation or potential cooperation with Russia on things like nuclear de-escalation, and like the START treaty and things like that. What do you think needs to be done to get that issue more front and center for people?
Make them understand what the overwhelming majority of the population understood in the early 80s. That requires educational and organizational efforts. And it's not that hard. And we're moving towards a very dangerous situation that's been escalated by Trump. We can pull it back. There are many very concrete things that can be done and that people can easily understand. When you talk to an audience, they understand it in 10 minutes. So let's take what both parties describe as the greatest threat to peace, Iranian nuclear weapons. Okay, let's concede for a moment that they are a threat. I don't think they are. I don't think there's even any plans. But let's agree that's a threat to world peace. Is there anything you can do about it? Very simple. You can move to institute a nuclear weapons-free zone in the region with intensive inspections, which work. We know that they work. U.S. intelligence agrees that they work. Right through the joint agreement period, they were working very effectively. So you got U.S. intelligence on your side. What's stopping you? Well, take a look. Not Iran. Iran's strongly in favor of it, have been for years. And not the Arab states. They've been pressing for it for 25 years. Not the global south, 130 countries, strongly supporting it. Europe supports it. Why doesn't it happen? Because of the United States. The last case was Obama. Comes up in the international discussions, which never get reported, and US vetoes it. Obama was the last one in 2015. Why is Obama vetoing? In order to preserve Israeli nuclear weapons from inspection. Goes beyond. The United States does not recognize that Israel has nuclear weapons. Why? Of course it does. Everybody knows it. It's no secret. They don't recognize it because that opens some dangerous doors, like American law. American law bars economic and military aid to countries that have developed nuclear weapons outside the framework of the Non-Proliferation Treaty. Neither the Democrats or Republicans want to open that door, but the left ought to want to open that door. And people understand it very quickly. There's a lot of the population, not for good reasons, that doesn't like foreign aid altogether. And the idea that in order to protect illegal aid to Israel, we are raising the danger of extreme danger of serious war. People can understand that, but they're not going to understand it if they don't know about it. Okay, the two parties, the media, the scholarship, try very hard to make sure nobody knows about it. Very similar to other situations in which the left had a role, get people to understand things. It's not quantum physics. It's on the surface. You talk to a bunch of teenagers, they understand it in 10 minutes. Okay, anybody else too. This is just one of many things that is the task of the left, not debating issues about lesser evil voting and things like that. Pay attention to these things that matter and will matter right away as soon as Biden is in. Now, on this particular issue, There's a lot that can be done, even among a public attitude have changed enormously on these issues, on the whole Middle East issues. Now, the leadership is not reacting. They're in the hands of the lobbyists and the donors. But the population has changed. So the main support for Israeli expansionism and crimes has been liberal Democrats up until recently. Now it's shifted. Now it's in the most reactionary parts of the population, evangelicals, ultranationalists. That offers openings. Okay, don't have to spell them out. You can think about it. Means there are things that can be done to change. Popular opinion can't be suppressed forever if it is active. If it just you're just thinking it in your living room, doesn't matter. But if you're active and organized, you can make a difference. I just
So what?
with people like Nixon and Reagan. Okay, so okay. That's just one thing. There's many other things.